Yes, it's a post-draft Friday here on The Middle, alongside Barrett Brooks, Harry Mays, Todd Shander with you for the next 2 hours here on the JAKIB Media YouTube page, the phillyvoice.com/The Middle page, and soon to be joined by Sports Map Radio. All right, I got thoughts. I have thoughts, reactions, all of that. No. Look, you're the one who played. You're the one who breaks down tape. Harry watches a ton of tape in the sense of he's watching games. You're the one who's breaking out all the tape and everything. Why don't you start, Mr. Brooks, unless you did 4 other shows this morning that we should know about?
He just did one by himself. He went 45 minutes solo.
Well, he's fresh off of that. Then we shouldn't waste any more time to capitalize on it.
Get him while he's hot.
No break. Yeah, no breaks or anything, man. You know, I just
went hot hand. Boom, boom.
I just went through it, man.
Camera's not fixed. It's a backup. Go ahead, Barrett.
I broke. I mean, I just talked about the draft, man. How I thought it went. You know, I mean, because this is a weird draft, man. Because can you imagine being a GM and not seeing these guys at the combine, not seeing these guys even play for an entire year, and you have to make an accurate assessment off just a pro day workout? I mean, that's got to be the hardest thing, you know, I've seen a GM have to go out there and do. So you got athletes out there that, you know, that opted out, and some guys use it to their advantage. You know, a guy like Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase took it to another level. Nobody thought he was going to run a 4.3. He ran a 4.3, gained like maybe, 10 pounds worth of muscle, knows how to run routes better than he did even in college, and he was already a beast. He was better than Jefferson. And you saw what Jefferson did in the league this year. Imagine this kid that's had an entire year to work out, run routes, learn from elite level coaches how to play the game.
Devonta Smith?
Huh?
You're talking about Devonta Smith?
No, I'm talking about Jamar Chase.
Oh, okay.
I mean, even him. You look at what the Eagles did. I mean, I'm so shocked. I'm not taking everything I said back about Howie, but I will say this. He understands that he had to learn. There's a process in being a draft guru. There's a process in which you have to listen, take a little bit from here, take a little bit from there. Don't deviate from your draft board. And that's what he did.
Maybe. I don't know.
For this draft pick?
He moved back to move back up.
Yes, but still.
But he got an extra first-round pick. I mean, he played the board really well. All he had to do was give up a third-round pick to move up and get the guy that they wanted. Now, granted,
not the guy that they wanted, in my opinion.
What do you mean it's not the guy that they wanted?
The consolation prize is that they saw a run on positions and they had to move up because he misread the board at 12, thinking that one of those 4 guys would be available at least at 12. And instead, he had to move back up. He could have stayed at 5. Look, I'll let you go, Harry, but I disagree with you guys that he
at 6. They were at 6.
No, but I'm saying he could have gone to 5 and even moved up, seeing that the big thing was 4. Once Kyle Pitts was at 4. But go ahead.
I disagree also.
No, I know you guys do, but that's fine.
I do agree.
I love
disagree.
No,
I mean, the fact that Carolina took a cornerback, I think, sent the board into a different like avenue. Like I didn't expect that.
Exactly.
And once Rule took the corner, then there was the run on the corner, and then Surtain goes next. And I think that made you go, maybe it's plan B. I don't know, but they definitely wanted this guy in their offense, and they needed him in their offense. So they gained a first-round pick. They got a player that's going to contribute from day one. Can he get off press coverage at this level? I don't know. I hope so. I hope he can put on another 15 pounds of muscle too, in the next couple of months. But he's a really good player. The Giants did well. The Cowboys did well. I mean, the division, the Redskins or the Washington football team did well. The whole division got better.
Giants did too.
Yeah.
Well, look at that. I mean, the Giants. You knew the Giants were going to take Devonta Smith because what did they do?
They traded him out immediately.
They traded out the pick, and then they went and got a receiver,
Tony,
and Kadarius Toney,
who doesn't have great hands. He's a great skill guy, but his hands aren't great.
And that's what you get for Devonta Smith.
Yeah, but you're also looking at it where I think that you could have traded back and taken advantage of a couple of things. Like draft night, he could have taken advantage, but instead he panicked and moved up to grab one of the 4 guys that we were all associating with this team because the other 3 were already gone, including, mind you, Jalen Waddle, who was right there for the Philadelphia Eagles if they remained at 6. Mm-hmm. But my point being in this is, we'll break in a second here. My point being in all of this is it's not a knock on Smith by any means. I like the pick, but at 12, where they were from 12 to then back up to 10, there was movement as a result. It triggered it. And I think they could have taken advantage of Justin Fields dropping like we saw the Giants do with the Chicago Bears. And if we saw the Giants do exactly what the Eagles do, then I don't think we're complaining about the kid the Giants drafted where the Eagles took advantage of getting maybe another first or a second round pick.
JAKIB Media.
What was that?
I don't think they would have got a receiver, though.
I'm not sure.
Well, same kid the Giants.
The middle starts now on the Sportsman Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Home loans that fit your life. Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right, welcome in. Friday, Football Friday here as things started to heat up. As soon as we saw some odds come out in the afternoon shift drastically I sent you guys that, got the inside info there. Trey Lance taken 3rd, not Fields, not Mac Jones. Then we saw the run on wide receivers. We saw a couple of corners go in the top 10, all the way down to 10, which was the Philadelphia Eagles, who jump back into the top 10 technically and draft Devonta Smith, where I think the pick, as we talked about really for a couple of days leading up, if it was going to be one of the 4 in Smith, Waddle, Surtain, or Horn, the city's generally going to accept it. Didn't have to worry about a lineman, didn't have to worry about trading back, but there were some factors involved in the draft last night beyond even the Eagles trade that were kind of wacky. Mm-hmm. And poor Justin Fields, his career's over before it even begins.
He went to where quarterbacks die, right? Eitan, that's immediately what I thought of. This poor guy, and he didn't even look all that like elated in his room, wherever he's back at his house or wherever he was watching the draft. He didn't look that excited.
Would you be? If you knew you had to go to radio version of Chicago as a host, you're out in Des Moines.
No, I wouldn't want that. It's too much snow.
Yeah, he's hating. He's hating to do it to us right now, but that's what it is. Look, Eitan, at this point, we wouldn't. If we'd have stayed at pick number 6, we wouldn't have got a receiver.
Well, they could have gotten Waddle.
Could have got Jalen Waddle,
but you wouldn't have the extra first-round pick next year.
Right. We wouldn't even got Waddle. We wouldn't want Waddle. They wouldn't have got Waddle. At that point, you still had Penei Sewell, Patrick Surtain. They would have got one of those guys.
Okay. I'm not knocking that either. That's the thing is you're going to give and take a little bit, and there are still some question marks surrounding Devonta Smith that need to come out and be proven that will be attached to trading back. And you know how we do here, where we look at Jalen Waddle, we'll look at Surtain, we'll look at guys who were available. We'll
look at Fields. If Fields comes on and just goes great guns in Chicago, the Eagles could have had him. That's what the draft is all about.
It's not even Monday. Friday morning, you're going to start that. At least Barrett didn't start the quarterback controversy. Quarterback controversy.
We could have had a franchise quarterback.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting is now the CSB Media Arts Center, training in all that is media, including the nation's most successful broadcast training program with professional media experts whose entire mission is to get you career ready. In just 8 or 16 weeks, train on-site and online at our local campus in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. VA approved. CSB Media Arts Center. Visit gocsb.com.
The middle.
You can't have pigs in a blanket followed up by filet mignon, followed up by peach cobbler. It's too much. It's too out of control.
Are you kidding me?
There needs to be a sense of chocolate.
I don't know who this person is.
Filet mignon with Crown Royale.
Vanilla ice cream and apple pie? You might as well just kick somebody in the groin.
The Middle with Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays. Weekdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on play.
What happened there? Oh, that's why. Short break. Thanks, everybody. Birdman, 91.
Yeah. 91 LSXers, too.
No, that's what I was saying. 91. Yeah,
Birdman 990.
Good morning, Mom.
Is Birdman 990 new?
Birdman's been around for a little bit.
Okay.
Not brand new.
Occam's Truth and Wisdom looks new. Occam's Razor.
Yep.
Is that what that is?
Yep. Yeah. That's a good application. Occam was ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Boy.
So how was the party last night, Eitan, over at Ramblewood?
It was awesome. It was a Jaws. I mean, I wasn't like a part of it. I just did the show there in a back room.
This is the middle.
But Jaws,
on the
man.
Sports
Jaws
Map
does it
Radio
up.
Network.
Oh, yeah.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from
He's on at those events, too, man.
Amazing.
Here's
Yeah.
Eitan Shander,
Yeah.
Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right, we're back on the network here, live on the stream, the JAKIB Media YouTube page, phillyvoice.com/the middle, and back with Ron Culver and company on Sports Map Radio. And look, I guess here's where I'll say Barrett in the beginning of the program at the top of the hour was just at that point of actually taking back all of the things that he said about Howie Roseman because of one thing. And here's what I'm saying. AJB put it in, and I think good context here, Barrett, all right? He's mad that Howie didn't screw it up, and I get the joke of it here, but let's look at the truth of it. Just because he didn't screw it up doesn't mean he should be rewarded. And I feel like
No, I'm not doing that.
Okay, fair. Okay. And thank you for correcting that because I didn't want to put anything out there that wasn't attached to you or anyone else. But I feel like because he traded up and only gave up a third round, and I hate that phrase because third rounders should play, not the kids.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
But they had two of them.
Currency.
They still have a third rounder.
Yes, and they still have a lot of holes, and I'd like them to address that. But my point
is
of it
that the Colts third rounder?
From the Wentz trade?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Roseman does not have a fantastic draft track record, and just adding another draft pick to his arsenal doesn't mean that he's automatically going to get it. And look, as a result, I think the means ultimately justify the end. I get it in that they got Devonta Smith, but look at how they got. We all thought, hey, if you have one or three of these guys on the board, you take whoever it is at 12. He misread it. He thought that one of those four guys would be there at 12, and he could have then even used chip or leverage to trade back if somebody slipped, like Mac Jones or Justin Fields.
Well, they didn't want Mac Jones.
No. I know. I'm saying trade out of that pick, right? Instead of let Devonta Smith go at that point and trade back with Chicago or something along those lines. Now, all I'm saying is for a guy who is being heralded as a master up and down the draft board, it looked like he overshot and then realized he had to compensate at the end. I still love the pick, but I'm not patting Howie Roseman on the back today.
Well, I mean, one thing this draft told us is that this is Jalen Hurts' team right now, like because they passed on Fields. Okay, so that's one thing that last night showed you. The other one is that they probably would have taken, because I said this last night when I went live with Krause, it would have been really interesting to see what they would have done had Horn or Smith both been on the board at 12 when they picked. Just because that really would have showed you, what they wanted. Defense, offense, cornerback or wide receiver. That would have told you everything. The fact that Horn and Surtain were both gone, I think, they made the right move after those guys were gone.
Well, yeah, but still, though, in A-Town, that's what we're trying to say. We're trying to say that, all right, they saw a pattern coming. Mm-hmm. And when they saw the pattern, they were able to execute something to get something. And we hadn't seen that. We've seen them execute something to get nothing. And then they're twice as bad as what they were when they started off trying to do something.
So it's like, are they better with Devonta Smith and an extra first-round pick for next season rather than having a Surtain or a Horn or a Waddle and no extra first-round pick? That's really what it looks like.
Harry,
okay, hold on a second. Would the Seahawks be better with DK Metcalf, or would they be better with JJ Arcega-Whiteside and an extra first-round pick?
You're right about that. You never get we understand that.
We now see that they drafted the wrong player, and we'll see about Devonta Smith.
So there is an unnecessary tag of pressure that has been added to Devonta Smith by Howie Roseman because of his failure to kind of maneuver and having to overreact. And
no doubt, and I think that goes for basically any player they would have drafted last night.
Okay. Yes, and that's it right there. He has right now. Devonta Smith has a load that he has to carry that's almost unfair. Like he has is it Adonis has a world on his shoulder like
Atlas.
this? Atlas. Yeah. Well, he's Atlas right now because of Howie Roseman's transgressions from the past couple of drafts.
Well, you want to talk about Atlas? Think about the poor kid in New York with the Jets. Think about what he's up against, or Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. I mean, the list goes on and on.
I just locked in quarterback interceptions over 13.5 for Wilson this year.
For Wilson?
Yeah. He's going to be throwing a lot. No, look, I mean, Lawrence, Wilson, and I guess the big, not surprise so much, but the big pick now is Trey Lance. Like, how do you sit Trey Lance when you've moved up?
Got to play
him at 3, right?
Yeah. He's got to get ready and play.
Does that mean that
we were right about that? We knew that they didn't go up to 3 to take Mac Jones. I wasn't believing that for 1 second.
It was more about Fields as well, how it wasn't going to be Fields. And then because remember, yesterday I said we were going back and forth, and that's where I thought the heavy money was going to be on Mac Jones because they traded up when he was at his hottest point. And the only other quarterback they worked out was Trey Lance. So it made sense at the end of the day that they would take the only other quarterback that they at least showed physical, like public interest in, was my point.
Right.
Slipping that far was a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
To me, it was, yeah.
But I also look at this draft, man, and it kind of guaranteed that my premonition was right, that Wilson will suck. I'm telling you right now, Wilson's going to suck.
Wait, how did the draft prove that?
Douglas' evaluation of him was wrong. I just said it right now. Wait till 2 or 3 years from now. You're going to see that.
Well, what's making you say that?
Because I thought he was. I didn't see him as the top 2 quarterback in the draft.
But we knew they were going to take him like long before last night.
And I kept saying it was a travesty to put that kid in that type of position when. He's not going to be able to live up to the expectations that they want there with the Jets. He's not going to be able to do it. He's not that type of quarterback. He is a movement quarterback. He's not a drop back guy. He doesn't know how to do it. You know what I mean? He's going to me, I'm honestly going to say he's going to be the bad aspect of Carson Wentz. When Carson Wentz holds the ball and gets sacked, the start of his career is going to end up being just like that, and it's going to kind of put him in a position where like, all right, I don't know if I even belong to being a quarterback.
Wow.
At this point, yeah, it's going to be tough on him because he wants to make the big play all the time. And we know Carson. He wanted to make the big play all the time.
The guy with the hottest mom, you just scorched him.
Yeah, look at that.
I mean, Jesus.
He was making big plays before he got hurt. That knee injury more so than anything. I mean. I don't know.
Man.
Zach Wilson to be that far off.
Live to die. Live. You got to live, man. You got to make sure that you can get up and go to work the next day. If he continues to hold the ball like he holds the ball, he won't last long in this league at all.
Man, I saw that one throw that he made, apparently, that lit everybody on fire at his pro day, and I rewound it. I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah, that was amazing.
What was that?
No, I'm with you. This would be a pretty
accurate
surprise.
Yeah.
If he fell off. Like, Fields, I expect to never hear from again.
Really? Just because of where he went?
It's just a bad team. We don't talk about quarterbacks in Chicago.
No.
Even Rex Grossman or Jay Cutler. Cutler was better on outside of Chicago.
Right.
Like a personality. He was
nothing's going to replace smoking Jay Cutler.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
It was like a negative. Like everybody hated and railed on Cutler, and everybody made excuses for the team outside of Grossman. I feel like Fields is unfortunately going to fall off the face of the earth. And Wilson, according to Barrett now, if we saw that, remember, this was a quarterback-heavy first round at least. And for two of these kids, maybe three, Mac Jones, I mean, who the hell knows what's going to happen to Mac Jones in New England?
Right.
They share.
Safe assumption that he's not going to pan out right away either.
But they didn't have to trade up to get him. He fell right in their lap.
Well, look at this, fellas. At this point, Pace and Nagy are like this. We've got our job at least for the next 2.5 years.
Right.
That's what they're saying right now. They're not worried about if he can play or not. We got a job for the next 2.5, 3 years.
You know, trading up twice in drafts, to take quarterbacks that the previous one failed. You usually don't see a general manager being able to stick around and do something like that.
So Trubisky, they moved up all that. They moved up all the way up in the draft to get Trubisky. And where's he at? A second-team quarterback.
Buffalo.
In Buffalo.
Yeah.
Well, and look, we'll probably be talking about Justin Fields the same way. It's what happens in Chicago, man. And it's
I hope not. I hope the guy succeeds.
Look, I'm not rooting against him. I'm just trying to present the history here, which is it's very difficult to play well, especially as you get deeper into the season. And then all of a sudden you have right. You have to deal with the wind. It's just tough. It's tough to throw the ball there, and it's not a home field advantage. It's clearly not a home field advantage, right? You would think at some point somebody would be able to figure this. Maybe Justin Fields is just smarter than everybody else, and it's probably true, right? I mean, he comes in here and he's like, all right, I'm going to take what Sid Luckman did. I'm going to take what Rex Grossman did. I'm going to take what Cutler did, all the good stuff, and
throw in a little Bobby Douglas, too.
Yeah, right. I don't know, man. I don't know. Man.
I mean, can you believe, man? I'm watching that draft, man, and and look at the dress, man. Did Kyle Pitts look like he was from Philly or what?
Bro, what was
money
up?
Green suit?
Yeah, but what was up with those suits? I mean, those suits with the stripe on the pants. These guys look like I was waiting for him to whip out a trombone and start dancing with the high school band.
Harry, you know what I was thinking?
What's up with that look?
I was looking like this. We all see it.
Right. Don't say anything. We see it.
Green.
There's a stripe on his pants.
Stripe. We all see it.
Out, man.
Got a stripe on his pants.
After the NBA draft, I don't know how you keep looking at it, right?
I tell you. I thought Devonta Smith looked sharp.
Yeah.
Well,
he looks sharp.
Kyle Pitts still needs to own up for his ridiculous assessment that went viral on cheesesteaks.
Oh, the cheesesteak thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just shocked he didn't call it a steak and cheese after that assessment.
When I first got to Philly, right, I didn't know anything, right, about cheesesteaks and all that stuff. When I first got to Philly, I went to Tony Luke's. I said, "Yeah, can I get a steak-'em with cheese?" Oh my God, it's like they took the record and scratched it.
Yeah, you should have been sent out in the street for that.
And that's
look, big man, go to the back of the line.
And you're not from here, though, right?
That's outrageous.
No,
at least somebody would be like, "Hey, he's not from here. He's brand new." Like, people
who took you in there? Did you have an ambassador to bring you in there from Philly that should have showed you the ropes?
Your boy set me up because I stayed in the same building. I'm Charlie Garner, man. He knew it too. So when he brought me in, he said, "All right, go ahead." I said, "Hey, man, let's go get one of those steak-'ems." They say you got to get a steak-'em, or He said, "Oh yeah, it's a steak-'em. It's a steak-'em."
Like Kyle Pitts.
He said, "Oh yeah, it's a steak-'em." So we go there, right? And he goes up and said, "Hey, go ahead and order me one too." And he walks away. I'm like,
"Oh, he set you up."
He totally set me up. I look over him, he is cracking up over in the corner. And it was there back then. Tony Luke was there at the time. He just so happened to be there. He's like,
right.
Well,
He's like, Eagles drafted this guy. Yeah. You kidding me? This is who they draft.
I thought these O linemen were smart.
Yeah, seriously, man. All right, we got to take a quick one. More on the draft coming up. It's The Middle, JAKIB Media YouTube page, phillyvoice.com/The Middle, and Sports Map Radio.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Jody Mack, the legendary sports talker, joins forces with NFL insider John McMullen. Start your morning with Johnny Mack and Jody Mack across the JAKIB Media Network.
The philosophy that guides my work as an attorney is, number one, that we are in place of a position of trust. And that trust provides a certain obligation upon us that we must fulfill for each and every client. That a client just simply isn't another number. While we may have many cases here, the client only has one. And they deserve the utmost attention, information, and a full and candid relay of the aspects of their litigation, and for us to be available for questions. We understand that the questions involved in litigation go beyond the case. The clients often have many challenges that they have to face as a result of the incident that led them to us, and we must first and foremost appreciate that and make sure that we're there to help throughout not only the case but also throughout the client's life.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods, your vacation, your way.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting is now the CSB Media Arts Center, training in all that is media, including the nation's most successful broadcast training program with professional media experts whose entire mission is to get you career ready in just 8 or 16 weeks. Train on-site and online at our local campus in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. VA approved. CSB Media Arts Center. Visit gocsb.com.
You're listening to The Middle on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
Remember when this, over a year ago now, right, everything shut down and there was fear or threat or concern that there would be runs on everything. And I told you I got into the stash.
Oh, the chocolate-covered almonds.
Yeah. So those are gone. So now we're on to the next batch here.
Nutter Puffs.
I don't know what the hell these things are, but my God, they're good.
Peanut butter and chocolate Nutter Puffs. So
yeah, I don't know what the hell a Nutter Puff is.
It's like a puffed wheat snack. With,
it's like a cheese puff, except it's covered with peanut butter and chocolate, not cheese.
Wow.
These things are insanely good, by the way.
Oh, I would just house that bag immediately.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, right? Like, terrible planning by me, right? The world's coming to an end. You can't get into a grocery store. You can't even get into like a Wawa or anything like that. And you're stuck eating the stuff you've prepared. And it's a bag of Nutter Puffs.
Are you kidding?
I'd rip through this in like an hour, watch Office reruns.
I was sending the wife out every 3 days to shop, even during the shutdown. Are you kidding me?
Well, some around here, you couldn't get in. Like,
what do you mean?
They would not let you in, is what I'm saying. Like, it was only Deliveroo stuff. And then for a delivery, you're online with like 1,000 or 5,000 other people.
Wow.
That's supposed to show you. Amazon became a quadruple billionaire because of COVID, man.
Yeah.
It just put the Walmart.
Bezos, he's out now.
He's out of there now. But
he's out.
Bro, Walmart was at my house every other day. Amazon's at my house every other day.
You had to do, but how hard was it to get up on that list, right?
Oh yeah.
You had to actually have somebody either in your family, Barrett, or you had to pay somebody, maybe on like one of those apps, to come over and just sit there and refresh on the phone. All right, give me a window now. Boom, give me a window now. It's like Ticketmaster.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, a couple other observations from last night. We talked about the suits, the style of suit with the stripe down the pants.
Yeah, that's your observation.
I don't quite get that.
Waddle was horrible.
But
also,
Waddle, yeah, I didn't like his getup. But I tell you, what I observed about him was he got up and his family is so happy they wanted to hug him. He walked right out. He was like, I'm out of here. I'm all business. I just want to get out there and hug the commissioner. Forget it, mom, dad, girlfriend, whatever. And Lawrence hugged his wife first, not his mom.
Yeah, saw that.
See that?
That was a rarity. But you're right.
Well, she wasn't close, though. Mom wasn't close.
She was right next to the wife, though.
He was sitting next to the wife.
Yeah.
No, but the wife.
He was here, the wife was here, and then the mom.
Was there. Right. That's what I'm saying. Normally, the mom is right next to the draftee.
Yeah.
But in that case, there was one. But you mentioned all business, right? And how Jalen Waddle was all business. Is there anybody who represents that phrase better than Seth Joyner?
Seth, what's up, bro?
Then Seth Joyner. What's up, Seth?
Why can't they hear me?
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Seth taking some time out of his day here to join us.
You hear me, bro?
I think he's calling in from a hotel in Pebble Beach, California.
Best linebacker we've ever seen, all three of us. Yes, Barrett, I'm saying that for you too. We're speaking for you. I know you played with a couple.
Bro.
Us. Mike Canton not coming around.
This is tremendous.
Bro,
I love this.
He is definitely in Pebble Beach golf. Or he might not be there now, but
there we go.
Can you hear us?
Pebble Beach golf?
For some reason or another.
That's right. It's fine. We got you. So we'll keep talking until you hear us.
Yeah.
We got him.
But imagine that, man. Taking time away. Like, we could never pull Harry away from his own golf.
He didn't even call us.
Let alone Pebble Beach.
Well, you got to understand, though, there is a 3-hour time difference here. So it's 8:30. Maybe his tea time is until like 10 in the morning.
Can you hear us?
Hey, Seth.
Can you hear us yet?
We got you.
So, yeah, but it's something on the other end. He can see us. We can see him.
He can't hear us.
That's fine.
He can't hear us right now.
We'll keep moving, and eventually I think it'll – there we go. So he's going to reset. That's fine. Right. It's an old radio trick. You guys, you can keep talking. I know we're on the stream and everybody is going to be distracted and all, but we can keep talking through it. It's not just me in this awkward silence. Jeez.
Hold on. Now, can you guys give me a pat on my back, please?
Hey, he's not here yet.
Hold on.
He's not an official guest yet.
Look at you, man. You tried to sneak.
Give me my just due.
No, this is like you going to a pro day and saying, man, I love that player. We're going to take him. Well, until you actuate the draft pick and he is in your jersey wearing your hat, it's not done yet.
Not at all.
My goodness. I got to finish the deal, right? I got to finish the deal.
Pull Howie Roseman on us, man. Create a problem and then fix it and expect to be a parade down the street. Unbelievable.
He's the Andrew Luck of this show,
Right.
Unbelievable. Seth Joyner, can you hear us?
Yes, I hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
What's up, bro?
It's an honor. Thank you, sir, for popping on. We know that anything to take you away from golf is a major ask, so we thank you, sir, for the time.
You got it.
Bro, now they didn't believe me that you're in Pebble Beach, man, playing golf, man. I
believe
keep telling them okay. I thought you guys didn't believe me.
I believe
it. No, we believe it. We just didn't believe he would leave Pebble Beach,
the
golf course, to come join us.
I wouldn't ask him to.
Y'all are catching me before my round today.
See, you said that, Harry.
That's what I thought. The last time I saw Seth in person, he didn't see me, but he was at Pine Valley on the 4th green, and I was on the 1st fairway. And I saw him through the trees. So I know he plays a lot of golf.
So, bro, so how'd you like the draft, man? How'd you like Howie in his pick?
Well, I just felt like Howie was in a position. He was in a position where he couldn't mess it up. You know what I'm saying? I like the fact that they moved back and got in front of the Giants, because I think the Giants wanted Smith, kind of teed off Gettleman a little bit, but all they had to do was just follow the script. Whether they stayed at 6, whether they stayed at 12, or whether they traded back, into the top 10 to make the move. And listen, I love the fact that they went and got Devonta Smith. I'm not all that thrilled that the Eagles have drafted 12 wide receivers in the last 11 drafts. Hopefully they get this right, because you can't keep, spending that kind of draft capital on one position. But given what Jeffrey has said about, having a high-powered offense and an elite level offense, you had to believe that they were either going wide receiver or cornerback.
Does his slight build concern you at all?
No, because we don't. Football in the NFL doesn't play the way it was when Barrett and I played any longer. A blind shot across the middle, where a guy can't see you, that doesn't happen anymore. That's 15-yarder and a pink slip, in your locker on Tuesday morning, from the league. So. And a major fine. So I'm not worried about it. Plus, if a team is worried about that, then you scheme how to protect a guy like that. You don't put him, in certain routes unless it's man-to-man situations where you send him across the middle, or you send him in traffic. As a coaching staff, you have to be able to scheme that to protect your players. But I agree with what he said. Hey, we're not lifting weights here. We ain't weightlifters. It's football, and the kid's been playing football his entire life. I mean, he lit up the best division in college football, the best conference in college football last year, on his way, to a Heisman and a national championship. I mean, I think it's insane that people believe that his size is going to prevent him from doing what he does. His job is to avoid people, run by people, score touchdowns. It's not to come up and tackle anybody.
Seth, in that same vein, do you think that the Eagles should even be looking at trying to add some weight on him, or use his natural abilities as he's currently gifted?
Well, when I think about Alabama, it's safe to say, I forget how many players they had drafted in the first round yesterday. Something like 5 or 6. I want to say 5 or 6 offensive players. They're being prepared for the next level, if you will, in Alabama. So these guys come to the NFL and they're ready to perform right now, if you use them correctly. Suffice to say that, if Devontae's been there, 3-4 years, and he hadn't gained any weight in 3 or 4 years there, and during this time of his greatest growth physically, that his metabolism just won't let him gain as much weight as everybody. Now, everyone would love for him to get to, 185, 190, but would that affect his ability to be fast twitch and do the things that he does? I don't know.
Well, I was up at the shop, man. I did a draft special at NBC Sports. So, it was me, Ray, and DP Danny Palmels. We listened to afterwards the press conference, and they had Howie, they had Andy Waddell, and they had Sirianni there, coach, and they said some things to me that eye-opening, because you're a master at listening to what that organization says in press conference, which opens the doors 9 times out of 10 on what they're really thinking and what direction they're going. But they actually said that they want to stay on the draft board, focused on the draft board, not deviate from it, number one. Number two, they said that they listened to Andy Waddell and his staff, and, it was a premium of the information that they were, gathered for him. And then they said something that, two other things. They said that Nick Sirianni, they kind of wanted to make sure that we got players to help him. But then they also said, we listened to what Jalen Hurts said about the pick.
Seth, hold on one sec. I want to bring everything back on the radio, and then you have plenty of time to answer that.
On the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
Joined by Seth Joyner live on stream. The network, we're back as well, and paying attention, I hope, on the JAKIB Media YouTube page, phillyvoice.com/themiddle. In the break here, as more insight and nuggets from Seth. And right at the end, Barrett, you were just asking about sticking to the draft board and the mentality that the Eagles at least showed that they had last night. So just jumping in, Seth, feel free to take that any way you want.
So,
well, I don't, like I said earlier, I don't think that Howie and anyone else on that staff could afford to have another draft where they missed in the first round. They just couldn't. So they were gonna follow the board. I mean, it hasn't been rocket science, and yesterday wasn't rocket science. It's all about them taking the best available player, at the position where they felt like they needed the most help. And that was on the offensive side of the ball. That was Devonta Smith. As far as, this collaborative thing that, they keep talking about, they've been talking about that ever since, Doug got fired, Howie's first press conference, Jeffrey's press conference. They talked about collaboration between everybody involved. You're starting to see not only Howie just in these press conferences, you're starting to see other people, because they're trying to paint the picture of collaboration. But at the end of the day, somebody's got to make the darn call. Somebody's got to say, okay, we're taking this guy, we're taking that guy. And then somebody has to be accountable for that. There's nothing wrong with collaboration. I think all great organizations have collaboration, but your decision maker needs to step out and say, okay, this is the decision that we made. Okay. And his job has to either hang in the balance, or he needs to be extended because of the great job that he did because of his people behind him. That's the way, that the hierarchy, really works. But I think that, everybody's been calling for Howie's neck for the last 2 years, and you're never going to get it because of collaboration.
What did you think about the other three teams in the NFC East? Of course, Dallas trades with the Eagles, and they get the guy they could have taken at 10, but then they get an extra third-round pick and get Parsons at 12. And the Giants, of course, wanted the receiver the Eagles got, but they ended up getting a decent receiver and a couple of picks in Kadarius Toney, and the Washington football team got another nice linebacker, Jamin Davis.
Well, I think of the three, the Cowboys pick scares me the most. I really love Micah Parsons, man. I really do. I think that this kid is like Ray Lewis-esque. He's like Luke Kuechly-esque. When you draft players like that, they have the ability to change the mentality and the mental state of the entire defense. Just because he's going to bring such an intensity level to that defense that it's going to affect everybody else on the defense. They're all going to have to raise their level of competition, and the expectations are going to rise as well, because they're going to turn on the film. You're going to watch this guy running all over the place. Then it's going to create major competition if they don't wind up moving one of those other two linebackers because of, drafting him so high. I think they like having three because, just in case you get one guy hurt, you don't really have a major drop off, and to be honest with you, no one in the NFL except for offensive linemen play 100% of the snaps anymore. So they want to keep those guys fresh, but it creates a lot of competition at that position because those, you got Smith, Jalen Smith, and Van Der Esch. Those two guys are going to be like, man, look at this young dude, balling. So they're going to be competing for playing time. And then you turn on the film and everybody else, the secondary and the defensive line, they're like, my goodness, look at this kid that's just all over the place. So that raises the level of everything. It changes, the defense. Now they got to go out and get some more players to improve the defensive side of the ball, but I think he's a big piece in getting that done. I think the Giants reached, because they got pissed at the Eagles for, snatching their guy ahead of them. But I do like Kadarius Toney. I think he's a great player. Just not at that spot. I thought he was a day 2 guy.
I did also.
And as far as Washington, I guess they picking so late, what they really needed was a quarterback.
Yep.
They really need to draft a quarterback. So I think that they're, nothing wrong with them going to get the linebacker if they needed him, if they liked him. But I think at the end of the day, what's going to wind up happening is that they're going to continue to get better because of their defense. But they're still going to have a lot of inefficiencies because they got to go get that quarterback. And I'm not so sure that guy's in next year's draft or even, later rounds this year.
That's infuriating, right? Because you lay out everything about Micah Parsons, and it's not just the impact of what he's doing on the field himself, but it's the multiple levels of the defense that he impacts. And we're back to, the Eagles probably didn't even look at him because they devalue that position so much, especially early in the first round. And they go back to what you said in the beginning, the same well of a position that they have failed at more often than not. No knock on Devonta Smith. I love the fact that they got Devonta Smith, but history is working against Roseman and Lurie in that capacity, yet they refuse to open up and at least admit, Seth, that they've overlooked and devalued positions of need, specifically that when you have somebody like Parsons and countless of others that they've passed up in the first round.
Well, and listen, I can't blame Howie all by himself because, he was trained by the guy that thought that way. Joe Banner never put any stock into drafting linebackers, and not that, I didn't expect for the Eagles to take him. I knew that he'd be a day 1 guy. I didn't expect for the Eagles to take him, but, this consistent, lack of respect for the position, especially in today's defense where, you're only primarily, you're lucky if you've got 2 linebackers on the field. So you can ill afford to have guys out there playing the linebacker position that aren't just pure hell raisers because you only got 2 and there's so much more for them to do. They got to cover. They got to, be able to, drop in the zone. They got to be able to, play the run. They got to be able to blitz. And if you got one linebacker that's starting that's deficient in any of those, then you got a problem. And I get it, it's hard to find guys like that, but at the end of the day, the Eagles are all about scoring. It's interesting because I had Sterling Sharp on my show last week, and I asked him, a la the Pac-12. The Pac-12 is the Big Five, is in the Power 5 conference. It's, the Pac-12 is just, we're going to outscore everybody. 51-53, 45-42. Every single week. Nobody plays any defense. I asked him, I said, is that where the NFL is actually heading? And he said, you can see it all over the place. You can see it by the way, spread offenses, the quarterbacks that are drafted, 5 quarterbacks, in the top 15 picks this year, the wide receivers that are taken. Teams are just moving to a point now where, and like Jeffrey believes that, the way that the Eagles are going to win another Super Bowl is with offensive explosiveness. He doesn't think that, defense wins championships anymore. There's a lot of people out there that think that way, but I tell you what, you go look at this past Super Bowl and go tell Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that, because if that defense doesn't play the way that it played, and they don't have a running game the way that they ran the football. Listen, Tom Brady threw for 200 yards. Okay? 200 yards. Those 2 running backs ran for over 150-something yards. That defense did something to Kansas City that hasn't been done since Patrick Mahomes, was the starting quarterback. And everybody wants to say, the tackles. I don't give a rat's you know what about the tackle. The next guy got to step up and play.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would suffice to say that the way that defense played, the way that those linebackers played, they were going to do that even if, you know, the starting tackles were in that game. That was going to happen. They held Patrick Mahomes to 3 field goals.
Yep.
Okay. So don't tell me, don't tell me that defense, you know, doesn't still win championships or it's not important, because at some point in time, no matter how many points you score, at some point in time, you're going to have to be able to stop somebody, you know. So the lack of respect by, you know, everyone in the Eagles brass as far as defense is concerned, you know, it befuddles me, you know. And now they got time to get it right, because I think that they're going to be a middle of the pack, you know, team in overall capacity this year, and they're going to have some serious draft capital next year to maybe reshape and remold the defense if they're willing to spend it on the defensive side of the ball. That is.
I don't know about that, because I mean, you look at right now. I think cornerback is up next. I think they pick a cornerback in the second round, but I'm
this year?
Yeah, cornerback. I
think
they're
going to take a quarterback today.
No, corner.
Corner.
Oh, corner.
Yeah,
corner. I think he'll get a corner.
I was about to come unhinged over here.
No, Seth. He said quarterback. He said quarter. He said pass. Yes, quarterback.
We were on air. We were on air last year, and he became unhinged when they picked Jalen Hurts. He said, "What?" We were on live. He said, "What are we doing?" He went off. But I mean, this situation, man. Like, even at the linebacker position, Nick Bolton is a game changer. Talking about a guy with an attitude. You take Parsons and add, you know, a little more attitude to it, you'll get Bolton. I can't see them doing it, but if they got him, just like you said, that could change how you play the defense. And with this new defensive coordinator, he had great linebackers when he was in Minnesota. And then when he finally gets to Indianapolis, it wasn't until you got Darius Leonard, that it changed the outlook on how they play defense. I mean, I hope that they see and take a book out of that page to really show that you got to have a boss linebacker in there. It's not like looking at a linebacker like, all right, there goes Seth Joyner over there. I got to figure out a way to block him, because if we don't block him, he's going to make every play for -1 or -2 yards. So we got to find a way to block him. We don't have that on this team. You could double team those guys up front all day because they know the linebackers aren't going to make a significant play, you know, behind the line of scrimmage. And they don't have that. Bolton can be that guy. But, I mean, that's just me wishing on a star. As
you guys overlapped. Did you ever go up against each other?
Yeah, we played it. He was with the Cardinals then. He was with the Cardinals.
Dare I ask who won that battle?
We didn't go against each other, really.
Oh, that's what I was asking. Like, if you ever picked up on a blitz or anything like that.
No, well, I was running towards him, and I looked like I was going to cut him. I think I wish you would cut me. Yes, that's what he said. I wish you would cut me. That ball way over there, man. And then this boy came over, you know what I'm saying, pushed me from behind. I'm like, come on, man. Come on.
Oh, man. Everybody hold tight. We got to wrap the hour coming up next on the network. Live with Seth Joyner here. It's the middle. Oh, man. You could hear that. You could hear his voice cut sharp across the field. Is that what you're telling us?
Oh, man. I was just about to cut him because the play was way over there. And I was going, and he's like, I mean, I wish you would cut me. And this boy, I think it was Clyde came and pushed me from behind, like, You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, that's the old connect that went out to Arizona, man.
You got to treat the young guys like young guys, man.
It was my rookie year, too. And we just played Tampa Bay the week before, and I was cussing at Hardy Nickerson. And in the midst of me cussing, he turns around, rookie, get your butt over there. You better not say one more word. And as I'm walking back, Guy McIntyre said, hey, man, you better be quiet. You better be quiet. I looked at him like, man, the next play, I pulled around on a counter tray. And when I pulled around the counter, I turned too late. When I say I turned too late, he caught me right up underneath my arm. Mm-hmm. I'm running like this, and he caught me right there. Bam. I didn't fall like this. My body went straight like this. Bam. Right on the ground. I was like, yo. I said, from that point on, I just played ball. No more talking. Just play ball. play ball.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
What'd you think about Fields going to the Bears, Seth? You think a lot of quarterbacks go there to die, they say. Is that a good spot for him?
I think so. Whether Nagy lasts there or not, I think, long term, that's a good spot for him. I think he's going to be uber motivated to, prove how many got it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, here's a guy that was, ranked number 2 out of the 5 quarterbacks, and, his precipitous fall just really blew me away.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I think the kid can spin it. I think he's smart. He's played in, a system that's, somewhat of a pro system.
He's tough too.
He's had some bad games here or there, but what quarterback hasn't? So I'm excited for him because I want to see how he develops. I know what it, I don't know what it is to fall, from 2 to 3 in the first round to, what is it, 12 or 11 or 12.
11, yeah.
But I know what it's like, for 30 teams to pass over you 7 times. And I know what kind of chip, that forms on your shoulders, that makes you want to go out and prove that, those prognosticators who think they know what the hell they're talking about really don't know what the heck they're talking about. So I'm excited to see, him grow, and I hope that he just keeps his mouth shut and goes about his business. I hope he doesn't pull, a Josh Rosen,
Oh, yeah.
And, 9 teams out there made a mistake. Shut up and just go play.
Here's
All right.
Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
Final couple of minutes this hour here, live on the stream, back on the network, joined by the great Seth Joyner, from old talks to current reaction to the draft, and talking about Justin Fields. I feel like there's been so much of the gloss over, right? Because we knew, worst kept secret, Urban Meyer and company down in Jacksonville were going to take Trevor Lawrence. How about another kid, Barrett Brooks? I wish we had this just to run it back real quick because it was live earlier this hour. But Seth, Barrett went in on Zach Wilson, and I'm sure he's had a conversation or two with you about Zach and his thoughts on it, but it kind of took Harry and I by surprise because that's not normally Barrett just to tear into somebody, but he went in hard on Zach and I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but doesn't feel like Zach's going to pan out. We talked so much about Trevor Lawrence leading up and then finally kind of disengaged because it was a foregone conclusion, but what are your thoughts on Zach Wilson now with the Jets?
Well, listen, I was surprised that he moved up the draft boards the way that he did. When you can't discount, what he's done during his period of time at BYU. But you got to look at the talent level that he's played against. You got to look at, his body of work in comparison, to the other quarterbacks. I'm actually shocked that, both he and Trey Lance had moved up the way that they moved up. But, time will tell. I mean, I listen, I don't know what the criteria is, in the NFL. Obviously, you look at these guys, all of these guys can spin it. You look at their pro days, they all can throw the ball. I think a lot of it comes down to, when these teams have an opportunity to sit down with these guys and have conversations with them and get them up on the board and get an idea of what their football acumen is. I think that in a lot of situations, that's the difference. I think you also have some teams that are afraid to make a mistake. They're afraid to go outside of the box. Howie's not been that kind of GM for the last 3 or 4 years. He'll go outside the box and try something different, and take the heat for it. But you got a lot of GMs that's like, okay, these are the top 5 quarterbacks. Okay, we need a quarterback. This is the guy we want. It's just interesting to me. I mean, I don't have anything against Zach Wilson. I don't think Barrett does either.
Right.
But It'll come down to, his development. Is he in a good place with a good guy that can get him developed? You look at Trey Lance, it'll be the same situation. I kind of scratch my head a little bit at that pick as well. But when you take into consideration, he only played 2 games this year, before their season was over. I don't know, I think 13 total games or something like that, from the previous year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a body of work. And, sometimes it's worked out, for some guys, sometimes it hasn't. Mitchell Trubisky was one of those guys that only had 13 starts before the Bears moved up and took it. I personally would like to have a guy who has had a long track record. I'm not looking for perfection. I think you can learn a lot about a quarterback in terms of, how well he does when things go sideways. And how he reacts. I mean, you take a guy like Trevor Lawrence. I mean, would this guy lose 2 games in 3 years?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we even know how he reacts, when things go sideways.
Right.
I think we saw it a little bit last year. He didn't look all that great in the championship series. When things got bad, I mean, he looked downright inept. But that's the first time that you've ever seen him where he's had to deal with true adversity. We've seen it with Justin Fields. We've seen it with Mac Jones. Mac Jones came in last year, a couple of years ago, in spot duty. I forget. I think it was Tua's last year.
Yeah,
he got in for a couple of plays. I mean, just dealing with that pressure of how you deal with adversity. For me, that's going to be the biggest key in evaluating these guys, because they've been so successful, at the collegiate level. How are they going to deal with not having success or not being successful? And it's going to come early in their career, each and every one of them. How do they deal with that adversity? It to me is the biggest question. And who's hardwired, to overcome it more than the next guy?
That's key right there. Can you overcome adversity? What do you do in adversity? You know what I'm saying? So man.
I feel like we've kept Seth a little bit.
I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for stepping on.
We'll keep you until, like, this is what we normally do, is just keep people on and have conversations. But you're the last person that the 3 of us want to piss off, because we'll run into you at some point in Philly, and that's not going to be good.
And you got that tea time too.
Go on, enjoy life.
Listen, that's what I do, man. I talk about football. You know that.
Yep.
Where you playing today?
You tell me 15 minutes if you want to. It'll turn into an hour if you don't cut me off.
You playing Spyglass or Pebble today? Which one?
I'm playing Pebble today. We played the Preserve the day before yesterday. And we played Pebble yesterday, ate everybody's lunch. And we got Pebble again today.
Beautiful.
I don't play Spyglass, man. Spyglass
that's
Hill.
tough. Really tough.
I don't like that golf course.
Hey, real quick on the way out, in maybe 20, 30 seconds, if there's anybody that the stream was curious about linebackers, if you've looked at a linebacker or two.
Well, the kid from Notre Dame, they're really curious about Karamo, Owusu Karamo.
I hope he falls to him. I mean, I like him. Of all the guys that are left, I really like him. He's almost, I'm trying to remember the guy that the kid that the Cardinals had a couple of years ago. He was actually a DB, but they played and they plugged him in at linebacker.
Buda Baker?
Say it again, Barrett.
Buda Baker.
No, he was before Buda.
Okay.
Not Adrian Wilson.
No.
Not Reddick.
No.
This is a more
his name is. Say it.
More recent, Seth.
Yeah, this is like maybe 7 years, 6, 7 years.
And I mean, and he was just straight balling, man. I mean, they put him in a situation where they really where they protected him, and he played strictly linebacker, and he was a safety.
I remember that. They call that a monster back when you like in high school. You know what I mean? Monster back.
but the kid from Notre Dame, I think I was looking at his numbers the other day. I don't think he weighs but like 200 and
Yeah, 212, 15.
Yeah, 215 to 218 pounds. Now, he plays with an attitude, but you're stepping up a level. Can you? And maybe that's where the linebackers in the NFL are going to a certain extent. I don't think you're going to see linebackers, like me, 240, 245 pounds, anymore in the NFL. They're moving towards guys that can run, guys that can operate in space, that are agile. So, my only problem with that is, trying to play the run at 218 pounds. Micah Parsons ain't no 218 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
My man be bringing the funk, but, if they can figure out a way to get some weight on him, I like him because, he has all the intangibles. He's got instincts. He's got speed, his ability to recognize what's going on, early in the snap, when he gets to the ball, comes with a lot of attitude. He's a hitter and knows how to tackle the proper way. So, I would love for them to make that move. But, man, I'm telling you, the Eagles ain't going to draft. They're not going to draft no linebacker to the third, to the fourth or fifth round, man. And by that time, all the ones that really going to make it, that could make a difference,
they're gone.
Right. And I would venture to say that they might not even draft a linebacker at all, because think about it. They've got,
hold on,
you got the ascension.
Hold
on one sec. Sorry.
Hold up.
Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
Seth Joyner still with us in the house before his tea time, so we appreciate it as many minutes as we can get here. And the conversation shifted to linebacker. Of course, the stream was heavily interested in a couple, the biggest name from Notre Dame. So, Seth, as we come back, I know you were just ending that point about deflating everybody right there at the end. You build up about the linebackers, the talent, and the impact they can make on the game. And then right there at the end, right before we come back on the network, you drop in the dose of reality that just is the haymaker, which is the Eagles ain't drafted him anyway.
Yeah, you're right. That's Deion
Buchanan. Yeah. It was like 7-8 years ago.
Yep, number 20. Yep.
Well, so when you think about it, the Eagles signed a linebacker in free agency.
Yep.
Okay.
Wilson.
You got Alex Singleton, who kind of emerged last year.
Yep.
And then you got the two young guys, they drafted last year that didn't get any playing time at all.
Bradley and
Davion Taylor.
Yep.
Davion Taylor and Sean Bradley.
We like him. I like him a little bit.
Listen, it's not that far out of the realm of thought that the Eagles might not draft a linebacker at all. They may feel like, hey, we've got enough competition at that position right now. Let's see how it plays out. And if we need to, draft in the early rounds next year with all the draft capital that they'll have, maybe they'll find it in their hearts, if you will, to draft a linebacker high next year. But it's just nothing surprises me when it comes to that position with this organization right now. They just don't see any importance in it, and it shows up each and every game.
Mm-hmm.
How important it really is when you've got, safeties converted to linebackers trying to cover guys, and you got guys that are backups or special teams players playing at that position, and they're trying to cover guys down the field. I mean, it's right there for everybody to see and for everybody to analyze and say that, they need a playmaker there, but everyone can see it except for them.
We got to break real quick. Seth, if you want to hang, we love you. If not, go on and enjoy your day. We'll be back in 3. Thanks again. Stick it here.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Jody Mack, the legendary sports talker, joins forces with NFL insider John McMullen. Start your morning with Johnny Mack and Jody Mack across the JAKIB Media Network.
The philosophy that guides my work as an attorney is, number one, that we are in place of a position of trust. And that trust provides a certain obligation upon us that we must fulfill for each and every client. that a client just simply isn't another number. While we may have many cases here, the client only has one, and they deserve the utmost attention, information, and a full and candid relay of the aspects of their litigation, and for us to be available for questions. We understand that the questions involved in litigation go beyond the case. The clients often have many challenges that they have to face as a result of the incident that led them to us, and we must first and foremost appreciate that and make sure that we're there to help throughout not only the case but also throughout the client's life.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting is now the CSB Media Arts Center, training in all that is media, including the nation's most successful broadcast training program with professional media experts whose entire mission is to get you career ready in just 8 or 16 weeks. Train on-site and online at our local campus in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. VA approved. CSB Media Arts Center. Visit gocsb.com.
This is The Middle on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
That was a lot, man. That was a lot from Seth. That was really good. So now you can gloat. Now you can take that victory lap.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you, Barrett. Way to go.
I appreciate it, man.
Great job, man.
That was
way to step up.
I am on it draft time. I was on it this draft. I got you Ray Diddy and I got you Seth.
You did.
Come on, man.
You did. Look, 2 Hall of Famers, and I know one technically not, but that's the injustice of it all. Absolutely, man. We stand corrected, okay? Now, let's just throw this out here because I saw Brian Westbrook is even getting in the mix on this. Aaron Rodgers, as we talked about yesterday, now it's even more official. He wants out, or he wants something to happen in Green Bay. If it's not him out, then he definitely wants some drastic change. I don't know what that would be, but
he wants his contract. He wants an extension, so they know that they are he's the future of the franchise, as opposed to them just going out with this lame duck contract. That's what it is.
This is tough to look. This is tough to come back from. Now, we've seen, like, Dak Prescott, right, was in a contract dispute. And at no point was it like he wants out. But now the verbiage of the report is he does not want to return to the team.
Yeah, that's what it's the difference. He's saying that he wants out or he's not coming back. It's finality, to what he's saying. He's finalizing this. Either you let me go or I'm out.
Me to a new deal.
I'm gone, or sign me to a new deal.
Right. Yeah. And that's what Jay Glazer reported as well, which is he thinks it's more than a contract deal. It's pretty strongly convicted that he does not want to go back to the Packers. So B. West throws his 1.5 cents in this thing and asks if the Eagles should give up their 3 future first-round picks for A-Raj.
No.
Well, no, but
too soon.
Why not?
He doesn't want to come here anyway. He wants to go west.
To San Francisco, where they have to trade Lance.
I think he would have gone to Denver too had they been able to pull off the deal. The Raiders or San Francisco. He wants to go out there. He doesn't want to
have odds if you're interested.
All right, yeah, let's hear it.
The global market is speaking, Harry. Will Aaron Rodgers be named the permanent Jeopardy host before 2022? That's the first odds.
He does want to do that too. He's very serious about that.
Now you're laying minus 700 for no. So that pretty much tells you that the books here that they're taking this bet. Now this is illegal in the global market, so do what you like with it, but that's not going to happen. That's a definitive bet telling you that don't even do it.
I don't know, man.
What's that?
I don't know. There's some athletes that have that type of time, like Jim Brown. Jim Brown retired after in his 9th year because it was in training camp. He was shooting a movie.
Yeah, he wanted to go be an actor.
Yeah, but he was shooting a movie, and he said, "All right, I'm gonna be a week and a half late, 2 weeks late for training camp." And Modell said, "Well, if you're not on time, then don't come at all." And he was offended by it and didn't come back. Period.
Right.
Well, look, Jim Brown was a good actor.
Yeah.
Brown, it was a seamless transition for Jim Brown to act. Aaron Rodgers is as clunky and herky-jerky as it gets out there.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers ain't no Jim Brown in front of the camera.
Oh, Jim Brown had a sense of charisma.
Yeah.
And he could massage the camera.
Bro, he's rich.
Aaron Rodgers is clunky hands. What do you mean he's rich? What does that mean, though?
They're all
rich. Well, Jim Brown wasn't rich at the time, but he's rich. He's rich as opposed as he's made over $100 million. So he has money. He doesn't spend money. So he can stop playing if he wants to.
Oh, no, you're totally right there. Aaron Rodgers could stop and open up a Wawa tomorrow, and it would be fine. I'm just saying, I don't think he gets the permanent position of Jeopardy because I didn't think he was good enough.
No,
that's a lot for the odds. Now look at this though. Aaron Rodgers takes first snap in week 1 for the Packers. No is plus 550. Yes is minus 1,000. So before you even look at the odds for the next team, that's where I think you need to begin, which is they're telling you, I mean, that's even, he's got a better shot right now, according to the global market, of being the next permanent host of Jeopardy than he does playing for another team next year. That's what the odds are telling you here. And I don't think he has any shot in hell
of being the Jeopardy host. Exactly. No, I agree with you. Isn't it better for them financially if they do something after June 1st?
Well, what it is they asked him to allow them to shift money and miles, accelerate pay, so he'll get a signing bonus that way.
Yeah, they wanted a restructuring or something, right?
Yeah, they wanted to restructure. He was like, "No, I want you to give me more years. I want you to extend me to show me that you want me here." Yeah. So show me that you want me here.
You know what? Let me see. I can even pull this up if you give me a second on the stream, but I'm looking at it really quick to your point, Barrett. 2021 is this season coming up.
Yeah, he has a base salary of $25 million and then a signing bonus still of $11.5. Prorated.
Is that this coming year or is that last year?
No, 2022.
Right, but isn't this the 21-22 coming up?
Right, yeah, it's 14.7. So
this is the last year, right. Now, he's got an out after this year. So the potential out is 2022, 4-year, 126, 17 mil dead cap. That's where the out is. So the out technically could be after this year, or you could trade him ahead of time to a team that he would want to play with.
Right.
And then he could restructure the deal there, which I guess would be better for the team, right?
Well, that's what they said. They almost had Schlereth had said that, and if you look at his Twitter, that the deal was all but done.
With the Broncos.
With the Broncos, yes.
Right.
Well, what happened?
It just didn't get done. It still might be in the works. Still an early draft.
I'll tell you where Denver is.
What time does draft start?
Sorry?
What time does draft start today?
No, it might start at 7 tonight.
I think it's a little earlier.
I think it might start at 7 because you got 2 rounds tonight.
Yeah, and it's not the prime time effect that you get.
Yeah, and that really ticked me off last night too. I wanted the damn Jaguars to be on the damn clock at 8 o'clock.
Right at 8 o'clock.
I didn't sign up for a Kings of Leon concert.
Right.
That what that was ahead of time?
Yeah. And the anthem was terrible too. Ann Wilson sounded awful.
Why do you watch this stuff? Like at some
because I'm a geek.
Yeah, but why sit down? Like, here's the thing. I don't understand it. And it's no knock to the people that do the stuff pre. And I'm always post. Like, I love post. Barrett and Ray and everybody doing post. That's fine. But why would you get to a game early? You know what you're going to get. You're going to get the same contrived conversation. You're going to get some sort of distraction, which is a rap or a country concert.
There's a lot of people there, too.
I love the draft and the red carpet. I was even in for the red carpet because I love Melissa Stark, and she was tremendous last night. I thought the red carpet was somewhat compelling, but then it turned into a concert, and the anthem was terrible. Ann Wilson, I loved Hart. She was fantastic, but she shot. She was terrible.
The anthem
even the choir that did Lift Every Voice, they were flat.
Yeah,
wow.
It wasn't good.
You sound more harsh than Barrett Brooks going in on Zach Wilson right now.
You'll see.
I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting an Oscars type recap of the NFL draft last night from Harry Mays.
Hey, pay attention to fashion, man. You know what I'm saying?
I get
it. Green suit. We all see it.
We all see it.
I get it. Devonta Smith, you ready for this?
Yeah.
725.5 yards, receiving yards. That's the number for the over-under.
How much again?
725.5.
Oh, I thought you said 17. I'm like, what?
No. 725.5. Jamar Chase to put
that's still 100 yards more than any receiver that played for the Eagles last year.
Right.
100 yards more.
Which is insane. Jamar Chase is just at 1069.5. Jalen Waddle sits at 730.5, Pitts at 920.5, and Tony, which I think would be a sneak play here because they already have the three other guys, and you think, all right, 535 is not that difficult for a guy who can separate and maybe get out in space. That's Tony at the bottom. But how about Smith at 725.5? You're right, Barrett. I mean, that's a big ask from last year, but last year the quarterback play, even a little bit after Hurts' first start and a half, was awful.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to really make of it. Maybe Smith gets the benefit of the doubt here because he's played with Jalen Hurts.
I think that's what it is. I think that they can only go up. They can't go any farther down. I doubt seriously they could be as bad. They ranked 31. They could go one more slot, but they ranked 31 in offense last year. 31 out of 32 teams. They were at number 31. Now, last year, I mean, if you think about what Hurts had to face last year, an inept offensive line, no weapons. His two major weapons, both Djax and Alshon, didn't even play. He caught the tail end of what the young guy, what was his name? Oh my goodness, who blew it up for like 5 or 6 games. He was the Philadelphia's darling, the wide receiver. Yeah, Travis Fulgham.
Yeah.
He caught Travis Fulgham when he didn't do anything. He was done. He was spent after that. He didn't have Zach Ertz. He had less than an offense to go out there and try to articulate any type of offense. He couldn't do it. Well, let's try it with going with the starters. Everybody on the same page as far as offense.
A healthy offensive line.
Yep. Healthy offensive line. Let's try to do it with weapons and a healthy offensive line. See where he goes from there.
Devonta Smith's numbers in the playoffs last year against the best competition in college football in those 2 games, 19 catches, 345 yards, and 6 touchdowns in 2 games.
Here's the one concern I have is that, and it's a good one, but it's a product of a good one, right? It's like the result of a good scenario. My concern is that we do see what we saw, as Barrett mentioned a little bit on the Travis Fulgham vein, and Devonta Smith separates himself, which I don't think is difficult with the current crew, as the best receiver on this team. And now 5-6 weeks into the season, the NFL defenses and the defensive coordinators are now planning for Devonta Smith as the impact player on this offense. And that's where it becomes difficult. That's where guys who have come into the NFL with more talent than Devonta Smith have struggled, because it's, all right, what happens afterwards? You count the first round of it. Now what happens when people start to not necessarily get film on you as much as game plan around you? And again, it doesn't work unless Smith separates himself as one of the best or better options on this team. And I think he will. I think he will by default be one of the best options right away. And then I wonder halfway through the season, how teams are scouting, looking, and even game planning on Sunday around him?
Well, I mean, game planning them. I mean, it's going to be different for teams anyways, trying to game plan the Eagles anyways, because it's a whole new offense, whole new, cast of characters, on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, it's just going to be different, so everybody's going to have to catch up to who they are first and stopping them. So they may be a little better than what people think because nobody knows. They're going to be the new kids on the block. So they don't know the offense, the defense, or anything else. But also the team is going to be that new guy, have those new guys also. You look at Devonta Smith, and I thought it was crazy when I first heard him say it. But
hold on. Break.
Okay.
You're gonna say exactly what he said coming up, and then we'll come back here. Final half hour. It's the middle. All right, what'd you say?
He said that he's the best wide receiver to leave Alabama. The best receiver in history to leave Alabama. Well, numbers don't lie. He is the best wide receiver to leave Alabama. Better than Julio Jones.
From a numbers standpoint, okay, but
Jerry Jeudy.
I don't know, man. I think Julio Jones is going to be tough to duplicate in the NFL.
Yeah.
He doesn't necessarily have to have that size. They're trying to
take over a game. Julio can take over a game, and that's difficult as a wide receiver.
But we saw him do it.
Yeah.
We saw him do it. We saw him take over an entire college football.
Not in the NFL, though.
Well, those guys didn't do it in NFL before they did in the college. They did in the college first. He did things in college that those guys didn't even do. He almost has 1,000 yards more than Julio Jones had in college. He averaged a touchdown a game in college.
Okay, but hold on. Tim Tebow did stuff in college that quarterbacks didn't do. And
who was Julio's quarterback?
Oh, I got a Tebow bet for you, Barrett. What's that?
Who was Julio's quarterback at Alabama?
Was it Barker?
Because I don't think they didn't have an offense that structured the way they do now.
No.
They were really run heavy. They didn't. I mean, they had great receivers that didn't get the ball all that much back then.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I just want to be careful, man. I'm not disagreeing with you in what you're saying, Barrett, and I don't want to sound like I am.
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm saying what he said. I'm not saying.
No, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
But I want to be careful, man, because we just went through this.
Yes.
Where Doug Peterson sat in front of us and said that Carson Wentz reminds him of Brett Favre.
Yeah.
And you had this attachment. Now here's what's happening. And I don't think that it's done with the same intent, but it's having the same result. People are now justifying Devonta Smith's size like he does. I don't even think it needs to be justified, but people are justifying his size by saying, well, you know who else was that size coming in?
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison. And
Right.
that is doing exactly what Peterson and so many other people that we are trying to say stop. That's what they're doing. It's like, oh, he's going to be Marvin Harrison.
I tried to cool that last night when I came on. I'm like, listen, Marvin Harrison was a Hall of Famer. Marvin Harrison was taking throws from another Hall of Famer, an all-timer and quarterback, and Peyton Manning. He had Reggie Wayne on the other side. He had Joseph Adai in the backfield. That was an all-time team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's pump the brakes a little bit here.
Let's pump the brakes a little bit here with Scotty Burrell.
Yes, Peyton Manning.
And some people are saying he's Deshaun Jackson. He's not Deshaun Jackson.
No.
He doesn't run that fast.
No. But what he is he's a possession receiver.
Yes.
Right.
A really
Waddle is more Deshaun Jackson.
Yes.
No, we got to just cool off with the,
But I will say this.
Let him be.
He is. I need to finish this too.
Got one of these Nutter Puffs. Watch out.
Harry eating the straws.
The veggie straws, bro.
Got to get this Nutter Puff off.
That's
how he cleans up, baby.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
What are you doing, man?
The O'Reilly Auto Parts Studio. Here's Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
I got this bet here. I can't even believe I'm going to read this, but it's real. And DraftKings has irresponsibly put this up on the big board in Michigan and Illinois. So we'll touch on this before we get out of here. But you were in mid-thought before we were coming back from break, Barrett.
Yes. I want to give you my assessment on what I see Devonta Smith is, what type of receiver he is. He is consistency. That's what he's coming to this offense and he's bringing consistency. How many times have we went into a game where we had receivers that just didn't catch the ball?
Right. He's got good
That's
hands.
what this guy's
yeah.
He catches the ball and he catches with his hands, not with his body, but with his hands.
And he runs great routes.
He's an elite level route runner. He creates separation with his routes. And he has the speed to run away from you if he does get open.
Okay, so
plus he's a lot tougher. So I'm saying he's above average. I'm saying he's going to be an above average possession receiver. That's what I'm saying.
I heard runs routes like Jerry Rice, speed of Tyree.
I didn't say Jerry Rice.
Possession receiver of an Alshon Jeffrey catch. That's what I got from Barrett's breakdown.
No, hold on, John. But you know what? You can look at, and I'm not going to compare him in any way to Jerry Rice, but I will say this. If you look at his route running, it looks as one speed. He gets to that top speed so quick, like 2 or 3 steps, and he consistently runs at top speed in his routes. His route running is the same way. Every route looks the same until he comes off the break. Those are all things that great route runners run because it's hard for a defender to see, all right, is he trying to dig? Is he trying to get out on me? Or is he trying to slow down? All his routes look the same because he runs the same speed and it's fast the way he's running. He's a long strider.
If he ends up being Amari Cooper, are we happy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right.
As a pig in
yes.
There's also that's lost a lot of it. And this is another example, Harry, of where life is mirroring social media as opposed to the opposite, where it's an extreme. Like there's no room to have a conversation in real life now about draft picks like Barrett just laid out, which is, hey, wait a second. You can talk in a positive light about now a player without comparing him to
the Hall of Famers,
or even Amari Cooper. Now, again, I would love the comparison, and that's fine. And I understand that's a much more balanced, rational comparison because of somebody in the NFL now. But even that, I think like now what we have, at least today, and this is what's been enjoyable to me, hopefully to the stream and others, is just hearing conversations that are trying to walk that middle without being like, they drafted the next Desmond Howard, or they drafted, it's like, whoa. But you can still hear Barrett and us talk about what Devonta Smith has done exceptionally well. This is a Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah.
So we can't discount and discredit that.
No, but the Heisman Trophy rarely translates to the NFL level.
Yes.
Usually because it's a quarterback and they are. Yeah.
This position, think about what you have to do to go over the top. And look, we had 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round, so it's not like we weren't paying attention to the quarterback position. But you're right. No, like Charlie Ward, right? Okay, I'm not going to say this guy's going to turn into an NFL quarterback, but for a position like that, you have to go above and beyond in order to be considered, let alone win it. That's, I guess, the point.
Right.
Absolutely. And that's it. He showed that he has the capabilities to be a very good player. And why would you just leave it at that? As long as he comes and translates to the NFL, he becomes a very good player. Then I'm good with it. I'm cool with it.
And he can stay healthy and play every week.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay? Every week.
Right.
That's it. Right? I mean, that's really all we want. Just every week.
Right.
Let me give you a Tebow bet here. You ready?
Yes.
This is a live bet right now, according to Ravel, that's up in Michigan and Illinois. I don't think we have anybody on the stream right now, to my knowledge at least, who's in either Michigan or Illinois, but they can confirm this if possible. Let's look at the veggie straws are out. You got the green too. Nice. Tim Tebow to catch a pass touchdown from Trevor Lawrence in the 21-22 NFL season has been boosted from plus 1,000 to now plus 1,500.
He's really going to come in and try to be
tight
end.
I liked Tim Tebow, and I still do like him, but he is an attention whore. Honestly. I mean, whether it's like, him trying to be a New York Met player on the roster, knowing that he's not good enough, but he's still going to go to camp just because everybody's going to be interviewing him and he's going to become a story and a hashtag on social media for a day. It's like, give it a rest, please. Just stay on the SEC network, talk about the games, go on with Feinbaum once or twice a week and be done with it.
Right. I
end of
totally
story.
Agree. Yep. Totally agree. Look, and I see something on the stream that I would bring the attention to the two of you and everyone else out there. And this is the damage that continues to be done by the overreactionary part of our fan base, which is to see one thing last night and now balance out or overcompensate for how you feel about Howie Roseman. The track record, the history, everything there, he still should be out. He still should no longer be the general manager, at least in my opinion. But he got one thing right out of circumstance, not out of gamesmanship or anything like that. So Bruno Faranon says, fire Howie, anything like that. Yes, still. But we can still separate. Like, aren't we somewhat complex individuals as human beings where you can separate the two and say Howie Roseman did something right last night, but the track record in history still indicates he shouldn't be here?
It's a lot of bad things that went on before that. It doesn't preclude anything that's going on before. I mean, okay, you just took the heat off you for a little bit. We still have it 7 o'clock.
Right.
We can go back to it at 7 o'clock, see what you do.
But
we can still put you on that train.
Last night didn't strike me of one of those moves where you're trying to outthink the room kind of thing. I'm the smartest guy. It wasn't one of those picks. It wasn't one of those moves. It was pretty shrewd to get, move down, get an extra first-round pick, and still get a player that, was one of your top targets. So,
yeah, and I don't disagree with that sentiment, Harry. I think, though, that it's still worth it. Maybe it's me. And, I've been accused of punching things down to a molecular level, but I think it's still, he was at 12 thinking as he made that trade, he wouldn't have to move back up.
Mm-hmm.
And he could have still gotten a player. He still could have taken advantage of somebody else on the draft board.
Yeah.
And it seemed like, okay, man, we misjudged that.
Yeah.
Horn, Surtain, Chase off the board. But then again, I guess you ask yourselves this question, and we'll continue to talk about it.
Highlight Adams' exploit before you go out. That's exactly what you're saying right there.
Blind squirrel finds a nut.
Yes.
Broken clock could be right twice a day. You never know. You never know. All right, we got a lot of things happening here. It's the middle. Keep it here.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Jody Mack, the legendary sports talker, joins forces with NFL insider John McMullen. Start your morning with Johnny Mack and Jody Mack across the JAKIB Media Network.
The philosophy that guides my work as an attorney is, number one, that we are in place of a position of trust. And that trust provides a certain obligation upon us that we must fulfill for each and every client. That a client just simply isn't another number. While we may have many cases here, the client only has one. And they deserve the utmost attention, information, and a full and candid relay of the aspects of their litigation, and for us to be available for questions. We understand that the questions involved in litigation go beyond the case. The clients often have many challenges that they have to face as a result of the incident that led them to us, and we must first and foremost appreciate that and make sure that we're there to help throughout not only the case but also throughout the client's life.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods, your vacation, your way.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting is now the CSB Media Arts Center, training in all that is media, including the nation's most successful broadcast training program with professional media experts whose entire mission is to get you career ready in just 8 or 16 weeks. Train on-site and online at our local campus in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. VA approved. CSB Media Arts Center. Visit gocsb.com.
Yeah, they're talking about it on the stream, and I'm glad we needed to get to this. John Shelton pointed it out. Mike Mayock loves to reach in the draft.
This
I mean,
is the middle on the Sports Map.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
What's the tweet? Or was it a comment on the stream that alerted you to a tweet?
No, it was not for a tweet, but John Shelton pointed out, and I wanted to get to this as far as an overall draft observation eventually.
Yeah, let's do it.
That Mike Mayock, of course, the general manager of the Las Vegas Raiders, and
that's one of our guys. Yeah, he's a local guy.
Right, I understand that. Yeah, I mean, he plays golf at Marion. He loves to reach. He doesn't care about perceived value of the players in the round. Like, he took Leatherwood last night, the lineman from Alabama, who in all other projections, now granted, he doesn't care about mock drafts. Right. He's looking at it through his own eyes. I get that. But he's done this before. He did it with Farrell or whatever a couple years ago from Clemson. He took him 4th overall, and everybody's like, what? He took Leatherwood, who was projected as a 2nd-round pick in most cases. In the first round at 17.
I had him lower than that.
Really?
I mean, you had value there, when Cosmo, you could have went a whole lot of different directions, When I sat down, I break down my evaluation. I looked, I'm like, at the very highest, late 2nd, early 3rd, I saw this kid.
Yeah.
He's not an athlete. He's not a good athlete. He's not what you call a guy that has that quick twitch. He's just like he's not even a mauler, but he's just so big that if he's strong, he'll grab you, and that's it. If you give him any type of movement, he's not gonna be able to touch you. This kid gonna get beat a lot, and the expectations of him from being a first rounder that he's gonna come in and stop the world, and I don't see it happen. In fact, he reminds me a lot of a guy that got drafted real high like that from Alabama, got here. Well, he was with the Titans at first.
Oh, yeah.
Then he came here. Yeah. And he just sucked. The only reason he was here because his coach was here.
Right.
So
Stoutland.
Chance Womack.
Yeah, Womack. Yeah,
Chance
Stoutland.
Womack.
Yeah.
I'm curious, as we looked kind of at the overall takeaway from the draft, and Harry was scathing in his criticisms of the presentation of it. Just not watching with the volume on because I was doing a show and not really paying attention to anything that was happening from the cinematography elements of it. But did they do the same stories? Like, did every kid have some sort of tragedy?
No.
Or that was gone?
Yeah.
The only one which was, was warranted was the pass rusher from Michigan. His story is extraordinary.
Sure. And that's what I'm saying is I don't want to abolish it entirely, Harry, but I don't need every and look, I don't think the kids did either. And
no, I agree with you.
Intrusive.
I agree with you, but it was a pretty cool moment where he's there with his mom, and he's getting interviewed, and he's saying that she can retire, and she was like, "Yeah," it was pretty cool.
Awesome.
No, they also did a good one on the kid from here, Barmore.
Oh yeah,
good too, Barmore, and the fact that he never really played high school ball. In fact, his first time he really played ball was at the University of Alabama.
Alabama, yeah.
But I'm kind of with I'm on Ash. I'm with Ash right now. I'm believing what Ash is saying right now.
What's that?
I need an impersonator of the conversation between Howie and Jerry from you, Harry.
You think he called? You think they spoke last night? Who's on the phone? Howie. Howie who? That's what he probably would say.
Right.
And how is it?
Hang up.
Who the hell is Howie? I don't know Howie.
He's not answering the phone, right?
Yeah, right,
Somebody else is answering the phone for him, and you probably hear him in the background. Hang up. Hang up on that son of a bitch.
If that is anybody from the NFC East, you know what to do.
Exactly. Hang up on him. Probably had the
and then Stephen Jones had to be like, well, he probably took the phone and walked out of the room and said, "Hey, Howie, I think we can do a deal here."
Right.
Well, he probably had to call him back.
Well, yeah, but he'd walk out of the room. He'd walk out of the room to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Steve. Sorry about that. We had a bad connection.
Exactly. and right, he's out there in the hallway.
Right.
Like 5 minutes into the conversation,
Oh.
you could hear a door opening in the back. I thought I told you to hang up.
We'd really like to jump the Giants here, Stephen, and you just can't tell your dad about it.
Oh my God. I do not want to be privy to that phone conversation. I'd rather you hit me over the head with a mallet.
Oh, I would love to hear
Can
it.
you imagine that, man?
Oh, it'd be great.
Over the head with a mallet.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're like,
Dad.
Dad, I mean,
Dad, we just traded with
10, yeah.
we just traded with the Eagles, Dad.
No, even before that.
You did what?
Even before that, though, they got Surtain.
Yeah.
What do you mean they got Surtain?
I mean, they traded in the first round in 2007 with them. I remember when the Kevin Cobb, I think it was Spencer they took from Purdue, the pass rushing end, right?
Yep, you're right.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, they traded with Dallas in the first round. Now, I know they traded last year with them in a later round pick. I think it was like the 4th or 5th round.
Yeah, this stuff's
But this is big.
Yeah, you think so? I think it's I don't know. I think if both sides look at it like there's not an obvious advantage, the Cowboys clearly had Micah Parsons on their draft board, realizing that he either would be a strong consolation prize or still a top pick. Yeah. And the Eagles were able to get a player that they clearly were going to address at that position. So I mean, I guess you can look at it and say, well, yeah, the Cowboys would want to check the Eagles and vice versa. But I also think that they weigh it and say, we're better off getting who we want and something back if you're the Cowboys, or you're just better off moving up and giving up a 3rd rounder if you're
absolutely
right. And I think it's the inverse with Dallas, because Dallas, I think, wanted Horn or Surtain. Okay, so they're gone, and then they're sitting there saying our next guy is Parsons, but we can move back and still get him. Whereas the Eagles felt they had to move up ahead of the Giants, which it's obvious that they did. They had to move up to get him. The Giants were going to take him.
This is from Xander Krause, who is the executive producer of JAKIB Media YouTube and the programs that are on here, like The Middle and Birds 365 and more. This is the most watched episode since The Middle started. Over 2,000 views already. 1,600 in the last 60 minutes. Please help us. If we love you for it, and we can't thank you enough for it. And there are people who have been here from day one, and there are people who will be here from now on. So we thank everybody and all of you. Just please continue and help share. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when we go live. But please help us on YouTube. That's the community here on the stream element to share the show. And just, this is awesome. This is an amazing accomplishment. And that's what it is. It's you out there.
Right.
Making that. So
spread the word.
Appreciate you.
Spread the word.
Yes.
Tell a friend. Phone a friend.
To our shenanigans.
I can't say real quick. I can't say that I am a fan to the point at which I can identify his music, but I am now a major fan of T-Pain as far as his social media habits, right?
T-Pain?
Yes. T-Pain is a rapper.
Okay.
You're not. I'm surprised. You're more familiar with the modern age rapper than Barrett and I. Come on.
I like that, dude.
Yeah, but I'm not familiar with T-Pain. I guess I'm thinking of what's the other? What's the lineman for the Redskins or the Washington football team from Alabama? Yeah. His name's Payne. That's the Payne I'm thinking of. I'm so footballed up right now, Eitan.
That's fine. That's fine.
You got Payne and Allen. You know,
is
both
it De'Aaron Payne or something?
Yeah, De'Aaron.
That's not where I think I would go. But De'Aaron Payne is fine, right?
All right, T-Pain, what's he doing?
He put out a tweet saying he's just seeing all these messages and mentions today. How do I super apologize? Press conference, town hall meeting. I'm dumb with the emoji there. Now he's owning up to it. I would just laugh and move on. But apparently T-Pain as a celebrity has been ignoring all of the other major celebrity DMs that he's been getting. And he's just, all he does is he gets on, he posts, and he moves on. Like there's no interaction with T-Pain on social media.
That's okay.
I freaking love him for that.
Yeah, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
You had Diplo, you had Fergie, you had a bunch. Yassi Bressman in there. I mean,
those are the people trying to DM him?
Kane Brown, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. All trying to DM T-Pain like, yo, where you at, man? And he's
I want to collaborate.
Yes.
You know, Diplo probably wants to collaborate with him.
Well, T-Pain is probably like, look, man, if you can't get in touch with me on, this is the Harry Mays mentality of social media. If you don't have this, which is my phone, then you ain't getting a DM returned or anything like that.
Oh, that is so on point.
If you don't have my number, then you don't need my number.
Text me, you ain't getting me.
And that's
right?
See, look at that. You and T-Pain live the same life.
Yeah, right.
That H. Mays and T-Pain. That's a collab I'm in on.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's bring in
drinks out of there.
Let's bring in 2 Chainz too. I like that guy.
2 Chainz.
I love 2 Chainz, man. Love that guy.
Oh my goodness. All right, we got overtime coming up still at the top of the hour. We'll start looking at the second day of the draft. Jamar Chase predicted, I don't know if you caught this, that he will break every record they've got regarding the Cincinnati Bengals.
I think so.
Well, as long as his quarterback's upright.
Hey, here's the question for you. Who gets traded first? Jimmy Garoppolo or Zach Ertz?
No, they're just going to cut Zach Ertz. They'll get no value from him. Yes, they'll get no value. They're not going to bring him back, and they're not going to get any value for him.
This is where I will stick up for Howie in disagreement with you and say I feel like one thing he does do is mine like a 5th or 6th round pick for guys that you're right on the surface, Barrett, shouldn't get anything back.
Right.
I'm not willing to write it off yet.
Or you send him to a team to move up a slot or two in a middle round. You know, you just say, hey, we'll give you Zach Ertz and exchange 6th round picks or whatever. Now let us move up in the 3rd round. That kind of thing. No?
Yeah.
I hope so. No. I hope so, but I
boy, that was an exasperate. Did you hear that? He went like he was just like he's out on that.
All right, why would you? You know, as a team, why would you? Because all you gotta do is just wait another couple of weeks. Be like, all right, we'll sign you after that. We're not gonna take on this contract. We're gonna give you $3 million. Take it or leave it. Right now, he's gonna make upwards of $9 million, $10 million for this season. Why when you could pay less?
All right, I'll say Garoppolo then. What's the odds on this, Eitan? I guarantee you're making a bet on this.
No. You know, one thing I do on the other show that I don't do enough here on this show is create odds out of the blue.
Oh.
So this is a hypothetical scenario that I think we can apply odds. I'd say Garoppolo is probably at like -150 and Ertz is probably at like +110. Maybe you can get it at a certain book at 120, but that's probably what I would say. Now, listen to this. We're going to take a quick break, but I want to leave you with this thought here. This is from Matt Pomeroy, and Ron sent this via text here, this tweet. No Packers quarterback has played 17 seasons with the team. Favre, Bart Starr, Aaron Rodgers, all played or have played to date 16. 16.
Wow.
And Rodgers is on his 16th, soon to be possibly, maybe 17th.
That's interesting.
Look at that.
Man.
All right, we're back in 3. It's the middle.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting is now the CSB Media Arts Center, training in all that is media, including the nation's most successful broadcast training program with professional media experts whose entire mission is to get you career ready. In just 8 or 16 weeks, train on-site and online at our local campus in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. VA approved. CSB Media Arts Center. Visit gocsb.com.
The middle.
You can't have pigs in a blanket followed up by filet mignon, followed up by peach cobbler. It's too much. It's too out of control.
Are you kidding me?
There needs to be a sense of chocolate.
I don't know who this person is.
Filet mignon with Crown Royale.
Vanilla ice cream and apple pie? You might as well just kick somebody in the groin.
The Middle with Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays. Weekdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on floor.
The man.
The wife won her golf match today. She's a part of the.
My wife was playing in hers too, but
she's a part of the Gap team. They took on Spring Mill today.
Where did they play?
It was 1912 against Spring Mill, and she'd never played in a match before. She won it one up in 19 holes.
Wow!
Congrats!
Playoffs. Woods.
Yeah.
I mean, over here it's 50-mile-per-hour winds.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, and it's worse at the club that you guys were at Huntington Valley because it's that valley.
Yeah, so there's no trees in there, hardly any trees.
Winds outside, double.
Yeah.
I don't know how you hit into
listening
that.
To the Middle on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eitan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
Anybody laying the 9.5 tonight? You know, the other night I didn't realize that the Atlanta Hawks were sitting more than the two guys we talked about. So clearly it was a Sixers play. Even though
Bogdanovich was out too, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Tonight, I'm more concerned about who the Sixers are going to sit because I wouldn't start anybody. If you were going to continue to load manage, I wouldn't start anybody. Anybody going to lay the 9.5?
Yeah, I probably would.
Make sure it's still at 9.5. Did it get bet up at all?
I don't know. Did you see Giannis has an ankle issue now?
I did. It's at 9.5 still. Yeah, I did. Although Milwaukee, they're only laying 1.5 without Giannis tonight in Chicago. I absolutely love that.
What, you like Milwaukee?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I love Phoenix at home. Utah is not a great cover on the road, and Phoenix just basically has to win this game -4.5. Those are the three to look at. Brooklyn.
Portland's favored at Brooklyn.
They are. Somebody's sitting. It's got to be Kyrie or KD.
Probably both.
Might be both.
Yeah.
And they want you to believe. They want you to start believing in Portland right now, and I don't, because of the return to Dame and how bad it was without him. But I think it's too little, too late. That's all. Decent night in the NBA as far as a nice little compliment. Nets. Look, if the Nets win and the Sixers lose, it's now going to be 2.5 games. 2.5 games.
Yeah.
And at some point, I'll leave you with this thought before we hit overtime and start talking a little deeper into what the Eagles are going to do in day 2. I'll leave you with this thought, which is at some point, if it's 2.5, 3, 3.5, you're not going to have the luxury of managing loads if you're truly out to win the first seed.
Right.
That's going to catch up with you.
They have to, too, man. They have to win the first seed.
Yeah, they do.
Have to. Well, it's imperative. You want to play both, but you just want to play one of them. So, yeah, they have to win, man. So, load managers won't be load management as you go later on into this this season. I mean, you got to assure yourself of being that number one seed. And, I mean, that's a great conversation to be talking about when your team is right there at the cusp of being the number one seed, in the conference. So, yeah, I mean, at least they're competitive right now.
Did you know, by the way, that Tebow had a workout? I didn't even know that.
Me neither.
Yeah, well, it's his former coach.
Well, no, I get it. But I didn't even I thought that bet was just pulled out of somebody's rear end.
Me too.
Yeah, see, I mean, Harry, you should have at least told us.
Oh, I thought you kind of knew that.
No, I had no idea.
It was brought up to me like Tebow catching passes from Lawrence.
I'd rather T-Pain catch a pass.
Me too. Or 2 Chains.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
Jody Mack, the legendary sports talker, joins forces with NFL insider John McMullen. Start your morning with Johnny Mack and Jody Mack across the JAKIB Media Network.
The philosophy that guides my work as an attorney is, number one, that we are in place of a position of trust. And that trust provides a certain obligation upon us that we must fulfill for each and every client. That a client just simply isn't another number. While we may have many cases here, the client only has one. And they deserve the utmost attention, information, and a full and candid relay of the aspects of their litigation, and for us to be available for questions. We understand that the questions involved in litigation go beyond the case. The clients often have many challenges that they have to face as a result of the incident that led them to us. And we must first and foremost appreciate that and make sure that we're there to help throughout not only the case, but also throughout the client's life.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting is now the CSB Media Arts Center, training in all that is media, including the nation's most successful broadcast training program with professional media experts whose entire mission is to get you career ready in just 8 or 16 weeks. Train on-site and online at our local campus in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. VA approved. CSB Media Arts Center. Visit gocsb.com.
All right, overtime, JAKIB Media YouTube page, phillyvoice.com/the middle. Look ahead tonight. We assume cornerback heavy, right? I mean, I would be shocked if 2 of the next 3 picks aren't cornerbacks in some form or fashion.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple good offensive linemen on there that could go too here in this second round. There's a couple of names in there that are intriguing, but I agree with you. I mean, they got to do corner at some point. It might as well be as high up the board now as you can. Who's the guy you like, Barrett? Is it Asante Samuel Jr.? He's a little undersized, or do you like Campbell out of Georgia, who's got a little more size?
I like Campbell a little more. I mean, all he has to do is just trust his body. At this point, he kind of he stays in phase for a little while, and then once he doesn't feel his receiver doesn't look good, He doesn't play the ball well when play it at his highest point. But I mean, he needs to stay technique sound. When he gets out of his technique and he doesn't turn his hips over and stay in phase with the receiver, that's when he gets himself in trouble. But I mean, he's so fast. He can still keep up with the receiver, but he doesn't trust it all the time. I like Asante Samuel Jr. I believe he is going to be a pretty good outside corner, even though he's small. I think he can still be an outside corner in the league if you put him in a system that plays a lot more zone than you play man to man. He has that skill set, but even though he's quick, I mean, he's cat quick. He's not fast, and if he does get beat by a guy that's a laser, he's going to be hard for him to catch him.
Do you like from Georgia better then?
Yeah, I like Campbell better.
Yeah, I do too. I just like
Stokes is already gone. The kid Stokes from Georgia.
He went to Green Bay.
Yeah, he ran a 4.2.
Yes. So I wonder. It's not. I mean, look, if both kids are on the board, it's not a reach.
Nope.
To take Trevor Campbell, Tyson Campbell, part of me at that point, right?
Yep, that wouldn't be a reach at all. That's right where he belongs, right there. That's around the point where he needs to be picked up. That's a value pick right there. I think getting Samuels at that point would kind of be a little bit of a reach. I think he's a mid to late second round guy, but I mean his production, he'll still go out there and be a very productive starter in this league.
What would shock you? I think if they took a defensive lineman, although we linked Kwity Paye and even Aziz a little later as far as maybe somebody they would trade back and get in the first round. I'm trying to think because, Harry, you're right. I'm looking here. Eichenberg, right, would be the name, the kid from Notre Dame, the big
There's a North Dakota State tackle who's decent. There's
he's good too.
State kid, Jenkins.
Oklahoma State, Tevin Jenkins. Yeah.
So there's some
Tevin Jenkins is a next level player. He should have went in the first round.
I agree. Yeah.
He should have went first.
If they took Christian Barmore, is that a surprise? Is that a disappointment? We talked about their need to fill both sides of the trenches in the first round, maybe just to justify Kwity Paye or something like that ahead of time. But I wonder, okay, if they take the safety from TCU, I get it. That's a shock and a half right there. Oh my God. But is taking a defensive lineman or even a linebacker that much of a shock right now? I know corner is the odds-on favorite for all of us, but I'm just trying to think what would be like.
Barrett would love to see Bolton from Missouri be an Eagle.
Oh my God.
You would do cartwheels.
I'd be doing flips right now. But I could see them also going out and get Davion Nixon, a defensive tackle from Iowa. Really good quick twitch. And when I was watching and breaking down film on Slater, this kid kept jumping out on the film. I mean, I'm trying to watch Slater, but I'm seeing this kid wreak havoc, in the interior of their defensive line. So, I mean, from Iowa, he's a stout run stopper, got some pass rush moves. He's just a bulldog in there. So, I mean, I could see them doing that, because at this point they just let go some defensive linemen. So, I mean, they could go in that direction. I could see them doing that, but I wouldn't say it would be the best thing to do. But, they got to get a DB, man. They didn't get in the first round. They got to get it second.
That was one of the phrases that jumped out at me this year with the draft is twitched up. He's all twitched up. I've heard Daniel Jeremiah say it like 5 times last night.
Yep.
Twitched up. And the other one is deep dive has become a real thing.
What's the deep dive? Just
and you could use it anywhere. It's not even just for the football. But I heard Rappaport say it a couple times last night. I've heard, I've even said it.
Yeah, you're guilty of it as well?
Yes.
The deep dive?
I'm guilty of a deep dive every now and then.
That.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're on this guy, man, but it'll take a deep dive for you to go in and get this guy. I mean, to pull him back up, you got to pull him in.
All right, I'm going to present a scenario here. I don't necessarily think I hate it, but I think a lot of people would probably hate it. And that's what happens at, where are they, 37th?
37, yeah.
You look ahead, there are 4 teams ahead of them. Sure, Jacksonville, even the Jets, you can make an argument here, but the injury is going to be a concern because of the history of this team drafting guys with injuries or concerns of injuries. But are we really just going to skip over a kid like Terrence Marshall Jr. if he's available because they already took a wideout in the first round? Like, does Devonta Smith now preclude them from taking a BPA if that BPA happens to be a wideout?
You're talking about
I don't think it should.
I mean, but still, his injury. But you're talking about an elite level player, man.
Yeah, I love him.
The only thing, Barrett, is the injury, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He'll go in and he'll make some noise.
Yeah, he's 6'2.5".
Right, and speed, and
yeah,
he's gonna go get it.
Yep.
Okay, you cut J-Jaw. So what? Maybe you get a third rounder for him when he goes somewhere else and makes the team. You'll get a compensation pick for him. That's. But at this point, J-Jaw. At this point, I don't know what else you want me to do or say. I don't know how you want me to justify him being on the team. I love the kid as far as, during camp, his mom, it was a cute story. His mom holding an umbrella over him. And, they're really, really good people, But
yeah.
I need an a-hole, bro. I need somebody to
go
just, I want this. This is my position.
I was really
taking it.
I was really pissed that the Browns took Newsome.
Me too.
Yeah.
That wasn't a far reach for him. That wasn't a jump for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They didn't have to go deep. What was the term called?
Oh, deep dive.
They didn't have to go. Yeah. It wasn't a deep dive for them to do it.
Yeah. All right. We're out of here. Enjoy your weekend.
The
Eagles again at 7:00 tonight. Eagles. All of the nonsense going on here with everything that will come from the overreactions and reactions. And thanks to everybody on the stream as well.
Appreciate you.
Please subscribe.
Tell a friend.
Share. Yes. Share. Have a great weekend. We're out of here.
Football in Philadelphia is a lifestyle, a passion from birth, and a personal responsibility to know the game. Boo when necessary. And think about EAGLES! Every second of every minute of every hour of every day. Birds 365 was created for you. Jody Mack, the legendary sports talker, joins forces with NFL insider John McMullen. Birds 365. Start your morning with Johnny Mack and Jody Mack across the JAKIB Media Network. Watch it live on YouTube.